All right. Well, good evening, everybody. This is one of our funnest, is that a word? One of our most exciting coach huddles that we have. We're the first Tuesday of the month. We get back together as a big group. Our group's gotten so big that we split off into two smaller groups. And so once a month, we get all back together and introduce new people that have joined us. And we also kind of get the family back together again. And so it's like a mini family reunion where we do once a month. So it's a couple things that you might consider doing when we do these huddle ups. There's going to be some things that people will say that might spark a chord or might help you think of somebody. And so make sure you always have a piece of paper and a pen out and be jotting those things down when they happen, because that will help you take action on that later. And I want to bring on and welcome Alex McMillan, the one of my friends, actually, and fellow health coaches, and he's bringing his team back together. So a lot of the faces that you maybe haven't seen, well, it depends on which team you're on. You might see a bunch of new faces from our team, or we might see some new faces from your team. But anyway, welcome, Alex.
Hey, Craig, glad to be on with you and all of us to huddle up again this really, really great month. You know, this is going to be a wonderful meeting because we're getting ready to go into one of the amazing times of the year. But we get to also celebrate how we're going to get people prepared to make it through these holidays and truly thrive, but also to think about us and joining our family if and when they don't decide to join us through the holidays, when those holidays are come to an end and they're going, wow, definitely need a team of people. And so we're going to be top of mind. Can't wait for us to get into some of this great content for tonight. So good seeing you all again. It's been a little while since we've been together as a team.
Thanks. So we got a couple new faces. Well, one new face that's with us right now. A few more might be joining in. And there's some people that it just says iPhone and there's no video, so I don't know who you are. But the one person that I do know that I've been working quite closely with is Irving Duffy. And Irv, I'd love to have you introduce yourself so some of the rest of our team kind of gets to know how we met, and just give a little update, maybe a one or two sentences on your own personal journey, and then one or two sentences on your kind of where you're at with coaching.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. So, yeah, my name is Irving Duffy, and I think I'm in my third week. With that, I had met Craig last February. I was working as a regional manager for the Pacific Northwest, and I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, with the company headquarters there. And I was on the phone with my wife, and she was on her way to work and got into a car crash as we were talking. So I hopped on a plane. I flew back, and she was fine. The car was okay. It was repairable. But we were at the rental car place, and I see this guy, and he's in a wheelchair. He's standing next to me, and you know, I'm a retired military, and so I look at him, and I'm thinking he's a fellow Marine, and so I figured I was gonna talk the talk, and he's like, no, I wasn't a Marine, and I was like, man, you sure look like one. And so we got in the conversation, and he asked if he did his soft sell, and he asked if he could partner with me on Facebook. I really liked him a lot, and so we did. And I checked out his page, and I was like, man, I was curious as to what he did. And over time, I just wasn't ready at the time. I was very interested. And then suddenly in August, I lost my job. And the job that I had prior was very demanding as a regional manager. It was just taking a lot out of me. I had gained 40 pounds, and I was concerned about my health. And so I closed that door, and Craig and he got back with me. We partnered together, and I was ready at that point. It was just that it was that time where the Lord decided that he was going to close some doors and leave one door open. that was it. And I was all in at that point. And it's been nonstop. So I've decided, this is going to be my full-time job. So I'm going at it full throttle. So I feel that I have the best coach in the world, best mentor in the world. And I'm getting so much support. Alex, you and I, we had a meeting yesterday that there was a lot of value in that. A lot of notes were taken during that conversation, and Craig is kind of treating me like, this is Urs boot camp. He's treating me with love, but he's straight with the feedback. It is nonstop, but I have a lot of practice to do on my presentation, but that's what this is about. Making us better every day, and every situation's a new one. So, it's really, really good to be here. And I've seen, Carrie, I've seen you, Kelly, I've seen you, and Diane. I think we're in a meeting together. So, getting used to you guys and being able to get feedback from you guys on how to be better and all about it. So it's good to be here.
Awesome. Irving, I just want to say something. I was talking to someone today actually about you and helping them just through managing disappointments. And, that's something all of us can learn to work through. And the reason why your name came up was I said, hey, I know a guy I actually met. He's a new coach and lost his job and he's just getting after it. I said, can you imagine doing your first 7 presentations and nobody says yeah? And then you still have this tenacity to keep going because you care? And they were like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah, there's a guy. And then, oh, by the way, you've done, I don't know how many presentations you've done in the last 3 weeks sharing with people. Do you know how many?
Probably 20, 25. I don't know. But the key thing is, and you and I, we talked about it yesterday, and I've spoken with Craig about it, is in sales, you got to be prepared for rejection. It's a part of the game. And, we talked about the pipeline and keeping the pipeline full. And if you keep the pipeline full, the numbers will take care of themselves. And rejection's just a part of the game. You just can't be afraid to ask for the sale.
That's right. Well, we went through that, and then I know we're going to be celebrating you tonight because you've already achieved a rank, which I think is great. But beyond a rank that you achieved, you probably don't even know what that fully means. You care enough to go past the initial phase. And I know some of us, I just want to say it's a really great thing for all of us who've been doing this for a little while to remember it is about learning. How can I get better? How can I help? And that's why we're celebrating you tonight, man. And Craig, I'm really glad that you do what you do, man. Something you don't know about Craig Irving is there's over 8,500 to 9,000 people that are been on their health journey because of Craig Blanchett over the last 7.5, 8 years.
Yeah.
And he's got hundreds of health coaches that his life has inspired now, if not thousands, from the events that he gets to talk at around the country. But you do have the best coach, and I'm glad you're on this team, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, and that's the way the Lord works. I mean, of all the coaches, I could have been any place else, in the country. And I met Craig at that time, in that moment, under those circumstances. And so,
welcome to the team, buddy.
That.
Absolutely.
So do we have anybody else that's joining us for the first time? I know, Linda, I don't think you have a new coach that's joined your team. I don't think that she's been able to join us tonight, but are you able to talk with us, Linda? Look at your cute little picture with you and your family. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not sure if she can talk tonight, but she's at a Dave Ramsey event. But Linda brought on a client. Her name's Dr. Boxel, and she was a client of Linda's about 4 years ago. And then she wants to bring this into her she has like an MD VIP sort of concierge practice up in Olympia, and so she's come on board and is going to be working with Linda. So that's kind of fun.
Very good.
Anybody else? Awesome. Okay. Well, next thing we're going to jump into is a little rank up. So Irv's been able to, I think he's got his 5th or 6th client now. And so he's hit his senior coach title, or will hit it by, once, because he had a few clients last month, and so they'll reorder again at the end of this month. So he'll have that. So that's really exciting for him. And I think that was, whether there's a rank up or not, I'm curious if there's other people that have had like a breakthrough, or you've done something you haven't done before. Maybe it's not a rank, but maybe you've hit a new personal goal, or you've hit a professional goal that you'd like to discuss with us. We'd love to hear from you now. Just jump in if you got something. And it's there. Probably just need to look. Just need to pay attention to it. By the way.
Yeah, I'll throw out a couple of things here. First off, I'm excited. I saw there was an announcement that Optavia put out that they're going to be celebrating Daniela as a FIBC. So that was cool. They sent you a request for your headshot, right, Daniela, and some interview questions for you. For those of you who haven't really understood the structure, but FIBC is a fully integrated business coach, and it takes a lot of growth to be able to manage the relationships and yourself. It's not just, helping other coaches, but having your life in position to serve like that. So exciting to see that that's happening there. I didn't know if there's anything you wanted to say about just having had that happen. I know we talked about it briefly last month with you.
Yeah, it's just exciting because, in Optavia, it's that 3 months. That's kind of the magic place, right? Because it demonstrates a consistency, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really happy about that. I think that a couple of things that really resonated with me when I received that announcement was, and Alex, you know this, I've had some times of disappointment. Sometimes when things didn't go as I maybe expected, or I was surprised by something within my business or something like that. But what I realized in reflection is, you can be disappointed. We'll all get disappointed, and life will turn up differently than we might anticipate or expect. But if we just keep doing the right thing, and we keep doing what we need to do, what is it, DTW, right? Do the work, just going to keep going. Things do have a way of working out. And so just throwing that out there, I love the number of people that I've met just through this whole organization, people that I would have never known, all of you, of course, but then the clients that you all serve, and the clients that my team serve that I get to actually interact with and meet is really exciting to me. And so those are the things that I really reflected on, and the amount of personal growth that it really takes to be able to help people move forward, I've decided is quite significant. And so, but that's a lot of fun, at least for me. I like to know that I'm moving in a place where hopefully I'm becoming a better version of myself, and all of you have helped me do that. So it's never something that we certainly didn't do it alone. It took my team, took all of you guys. So just appreciate all of you being here with me.
Danielle, you said something very powerful there, and it's something that I've tried to find the words, and I think you said it. You said the personal development has been quite a challenge, but it's been really fun. And it's like it's both at the same time. It's hard to express that, and you just did such a great job. And I've seen you change. You had to grow into the role. You didn't have the skills when you began. You had to grow into those. And 3 months in a row is consistency. And wow, I know you said you wanted that. You've been working for that for a while, and it's congratulations. That's a really big deal.
Absolutely. Anyone else have anything that they wanted to share that was a breakthrough, or if they've gotten consistent with, or some new level way of thinking? I want to just piggyback on Daniela, though. Feel free to raise your hand if you come up with something. This last year with you guys has been amazing. I look back, we're coming, it's funny to think we're coming to the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like, wow, what's happening? Life is just speeding up. And this has been the last, I don't know if it's been a year, but the last year I've had a lot of family dynamic challenges that have come up, and I have had more fun coaching than I have had the entire 7 years of being an Optavia coach. And like, that sounds really weird to say those two things together, the most family challenges and the most fun as a coach. And it's because of this team and the personal growth and the space that everyone here, I'm going back to what Daniela said, I learned from you guys. And I know you learned from me too, because you tell me that, but I'm telling you, it's a collaborative gig here. You know what I mean?
Reciprocal mentorship is the word that they said at Sundance. Huge.
Yeah, it is. It's synergistic. It's just amazing how we amplify, and it is reciprocity. Every time you guys win, it fires me up to win more, but not from ego anymore. And I say anymore because I mean, a long time ago, we were all shedding a little bit of that. I'm doing it for the right reason, and that's why I'm having fun. So my encouragement to you all is, if it feels like it's getting hard or it feels like it's just wearing you out, stay in this and ask for support of how do I break through to get into a present mindset. So even though life is difficult, that you can connect to the right reasons that you're making the calls, the right reasons you're doing the follow-up, the right reasons you're on the three-way. Because once you push through that, it really does open up. And all of a sudden it's like, there's joy in it. There absolutely is joy in it. And there are some things that I don't want to just act like you just accept what I say and it becomes joyful. There's some work to be done. But it's genuine. And so what I guess the ultimate takeaway is, stay in it. This team will help you to elevate to that level. Ask, though. Knock and seek as hard as you can, and don't quit. Mm-hmm. And it will be given to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, I know Dawn. Oh, go ahead. Who's that?
Oh, I think John came off for a minute. I'm not sure if he meant to.
Hi, Bessie.
Hi.
Dawn, I know you've got some stuff that we're doing this weekend that's kind of a new breakthrough and a new thing that you haven't done before. Do you want to share a little bit about that? Go ahead. I unmuted you.
You unmuted me. Thank you, Craig. This weekend, we've been invited, Kelly and I have been invited to participate in a trade show. And so that's kind of exciting for me. That's something I haven't really ever explored before. My coaching's just really grown by friends and family and referrals. And so little nervous, but I think it'll be a fun event. And so really looking forward to that. And then in the spirit of November and being thankful, I decided to throw a client / coach appreciation lunch that we're going to be doing this weekend as well. And so I'm getting some really great feedback from people who are going to be attending, and I'm encouraging them to bring friends. So just kind of a little different tilt on a happy happy hour, but super excited to just, do something a little different.
Great.
So,
did you say I'm coming up through that? Because I am.
And my dear friend Craig and mentor.
It's gonna be fun. I used to only come once a year.
So join us. Yes, I called him in a panic when I got invited to this trade show, and I said, "Craig, what do I do? I've never done one of these before." So he's coming to the rescue. So pretty exciting.
Yeah. We'll have a ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so we're going to move on to our next section. And one of the things that some of the takeaways we had from the Sundance retreat, and Sundance is grown very quickly into being such a sweet, amazing training. It just changes me personally as a human, like really. And so this year's training was the same, more of the same. It was the best training I've ever been at. the best personal growth training I've ever been at in my life. And so Dr. A talks about these things. It's a term called the hot six, right? You have to say that slowly so that it comes out properly. But the hot six, do you guys know, does anybody know what the hot six stands for or what those mean? No?
I can jump in, but only because I've had conversation.
Nice. Yeah. So what's the hot six referring to?
It's referring to the leadership habits. I can't think of the term for some reason. It's escaping me at the moment. The habits of conscious leadership. That's what I'm
Yeah, Dr. Ace, he called them the habits of transformation. So that's the hot habits of transformation. Hot, and then there's 6 of them. So the hot 6. And yes, there was plenty of jokes about hot 6 at Sundance. So there, we got that out of the way. But I'm going to bring these up here, and I want us to kind of talk through and look at these. And I'll have Alex, he'll kind of talk through these these 6 while I bring the slide up. So let me bring that up now.
Yeah. I'm going to let this visual just kind of sink in for a second. If you look at this, you see that, can everybody see it? You might need to go to the actual certain view on your screen, but Craig's sharing that there. And what are some things that you see from a metaphoric standpoint when you look at this picture without looking at the words so much? What does it remind you of? Just looking at the picture.
Camera lens.
Yeah, does everybody see an aperture, camera lens? How basically if you look at a camera lens, when you want to get a different focal point, you might narrow it down, right? And you want to see a big view, it might open up, kind of like the iris of your eye would. And they meant for that to happen with this. And as we go through this, I want you to consider that by embracing these hot 6, it's actually giving you better vision to truly be able to see what's needed in an individual person to help them to really become a transformational individual in whatever area of their life. So whether that is in their health or in their relationships or in becoming a coach in business and personal development, in just being able to see what is needed in another person and to give that. And so from that visual standpoint, pretty huge. Now, when you look at the actual 6 specific different things that we have, notice on the lower right-hand corner of the outside of this aperture that it says self. Do you guys see that? The first habits all are geared around you having some personal victory and growth in this area, and then being able to move on to others. And so look at number 1, and you see how that number 1, Craig, is showing you we lead from the future and we act in the now. And I'm not going to go into great detail on this right now. We're gonna break this one down in a moment here. But understand that if you don't have vision for where you're going, clarity, it's easy to run out of energy and focus when you're in the trenches of, why am I doing this? I'd just rather take a vacation and escape my life, right? And so we lead from the future, but we need to take the actions now. And when we keep that balance between the two, we're able to keep going. Number 2, look at this area of we take responsibility and we play above the line. And this is where we get away from blaming or really thinking that our energy is dependent upon someone else, but we understand we have the ability to respond. And again, this is in the self model. And number 3, in this part here, we seek growth. So a transformational leader is going to develop a habit of seeking growth and embracing obstacles as the way. I like how those two go hand in hand, because if you're really going to be able to embrace obstacles, those aren't things that usually feel good. You're going to really also have to marry that with the desire to seek growth. And I heard someone say this recently. X is actually the highest paid personal development trainer in the world. The highest paid personal development trainer in the world. His name is Brendan Burchard. He has more clients than anyone in this personal development space. He's won more awards. He's got 10 million followers. It's crazy. He said this: people think that you're just born with strengths. And there's even like companies that will have you take assessments for strengths. And he says the reality is true leaders grow to the occasion. They actually seek to grow beyond their natural ability. And that's why they're so profound. All right. And the last one is I'm going to run through very quickly.
With that one, I wanted to jump in for a little second. They talked about this guy who climbed Mount Everest. This was at Sundance.
Yeah.
And he said, how did you get the idea that you could climb Mount Everest? This is way back, the first guy to ever do it. He said, well, one thing I knew is the mountain could never get any bigger. He goes, I could grow, but the mountain couldn't. And that was just mind-blowing to me when you think about that.
It is, and it really embodies what you just said, really embodies number 3. These first 3 are going to be critical to your ability to achieve any particular area in Optavia or in life. And someone said this, I can't remember which leader it was. I'm sure a lot of them have quoted it. But your business in Optavia is never going to outpace your personal growth. And if you're hitting a level where it seems like it's just hard to get past, that's an indicator, like on a gauge on your car that's saying it's time to upgrade a few things. That's time to lean into that. Or if it's starting to feel like it's getting hard and it's not fun anymore or whatever, that might be an area to upgrade your ability to focus and stay in focus, or time management, or relate or connect or whatnot. Does that make sense? As we're hearing that? Okay, so these next ones that I'm going to go through, the other ones, look over here how there's 2 habits in the area of relationships. You see how on the aperture on the outside and the white side? And so this is, we connect authentically and we cultivate trust. Boy, I'll tell you, this area right here, I had no idea that I was missing the mark on this. And this has been my personal biggest growth area, is knowing how to be authentic and stay in that authentic mode without going into tactics of manipulation or into areas of trying to force a relationship. And boy, you only know what you know, but I sought this after this. Let's go to number 5. We awaken potential and we transform masterfully. So what that means is we're actually thinking about other people in relationship, and we're asking the right questions. And when those answers come out of their mouth, all of a sudden it potentiates them. It moves them up to a different level, and you've literally coached them from where they are to where they want to be. And that's what a great coach does. Like a stage coach moves valuable people from a location to another location and helps them be protected from the weather. So picture yourself, that's what you are as a coach. Well, we awaken that potential in others, and we find their internal goods, and we help them transform masterfully. All right. And then the last one I want you to take a look here is that we deliver extraordinary results. We serve to better mankind. And so that's a powerful, almost like mission statement to what we're going to do for the world. And I love how those are wrapped up in 3, 2, 1. Did you guys catch that? The big aperture, focal point, 3, 2, 1. All right. So as we move into this, I want you to think how this looks as far as a journey. These 6 habits, we're going to journey through these, and Dr. A gave us the commission at Sundance to embrace these habits internally as leaders, but then to start utilizing them with the team so that we coach you through that aperture, through that lens, continuing to have you do what you're doing, and you've already know how to ask people questions on the health assessment. We're not adding anything new. It's not a new system you have to teach clients. But when you have something that comes up, we're going to use these hot 6, if you will, to help guide you and coach you so that you can make them a habit. And those habits will then drive all of your behaviors, and that makes it automatic. Okay? So what we came up with in a little collaboration that Craig, Don, and I had was, how do we give you this in a framework that you already get, and that you already know very well. And I always think word pictures work the best. And so think about this. We all decide that we're going to go on a very, very great vacation together on a California adventure, right? And we're going to go to Disneyland, maybe to SeaWorld, or maybe to your favorite beach if you're not into Disneyland. But we're going to go there and we're going to have a variety of things that we can do. And we're just going to enjoy each other's company and the wealth of friendship and the knowledge of that. How amazing is that going to be, right? Are you guys ready for that? We're going to have a great time. You're going, what? Is this an incentive trip? No, I'm just giving you a visual. Wouldn't it be fun for us all to get together and hang out there? And so as you're going into this, I want you to imagine what that journey is going to look like. Now, I want to just check in with Dawn. Dawn, were you going to be doing this piece about the journey, or was I doing this piece?
You're doing this piece, Alex.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check on that. All right. So right there, I want you to imagine that we decide we're going to go to there and enjoy this California adventure. I'd like to hear from you. This is not the place to be silent. This is what we all signed up for to get our personal growth and development. What are some of the things that are going to be parts of the journey from the fact that we're sitting here in this meeting, and then in 2 days from now, we're going to be in California? What's going to have to happen to get from here to there? Some people start throwing stuff out.
Pack a suitcase.
All right, great. Another person. Keep going. What's some other stuff?
We need money. Transportation.
Okay, and you're going to have enough money, right? Great. Keep going.
Oh, directions. Carrie says directions.
Yeah, we need some directions. Okay, like where are you going? How are we getting there? Keep going. What else?
What about picking a date?
Okay, what date are we actually leaving on? Keep going. Just rip them out.
Place to stay. Where are we going to
location. Where are we staying? Keep going.
Meeting place.
Meeting.
Yeah.
Where we're going to meet up and where we're going to connect. Yep. Keep going.
Are we carpooling or are we taking our own vehicles?
Awesome. Transportation.
Are we flying?
Flying. Okay. Yep. A flight tickets. Okay. So let's say we're flying and we get to the airport. Then what? What's happening there?
We need to find our gate.
Gate. Okay, cool. What's next? Keep going. At the airport. What's going on?
Security.
Have your ID. Have your ID.
Have your ID. Go through security. I heard that. Belts are coming off, right? Shoes on the belt, right? Keep going. What else at the airport?
Now we're getting to the hotel.
All right, so good. So we're still at the airport. We just went through security. What else?
Got to get your gate.
Yep. Then what?
Get on the plane.
Then we got to get on the plane, yeah.
Yep, exactly. Okay, boom. So we got all that stuff. I wasn't looking for any one particular answer. I just wanted to show that you knew all these little steps. And if you really even wanted to break it down and get micro about it, you got to walk this way in the airport and then that way. You might have to use the bathroom. You might have, and we know that because we've traveled, right? Most of us have traveled. But for someone who hasn't traveled, that can be quite scary, And I want you to recognize that all these steps to get to a journey, we could actually enjoy them. Because if we're going to go to really have on a California adventure, let's say it's going to be a week, it's going to be amazing, we have the money to do it, we could actually enjoy even having to take our belts off in security. We could even enjoy having to sit next to people we don't, you know what I mean? I see Carrie nodding her head. But if someone's not connected to the future, right, leading from the future and acting in the now, they're just going, oh man, I got to go through this, because they're doing it for the wrong reason. I want to hand this over to Dawn to keep this journey going here now.
Okay, so I want to help draw the connection between leading from the future and acting in the now to something that we do as coaches that we're really familiar with. So when you first meet somebody and they want to know more about program and they're interested in getting started, we've got a tool that we use to help kind of figure out what they want. So what's that tool? Just shout it out, somebody.
Health assessment.
Yeah, we've got our health assessment. And so the main goal of that health assessment is to find out where do they want to go and what's important to them. And because we know that end point, we can help guide them on that journey to their future destination. And they haven't been there maybe they have, but it's been a really long time. But we know all those micro steps. So just like we did with Alex, just shout out, what are some of those micro steps that we lead our clients through as they head on that journey?
Introduce them like to our mentor coach if there's more support.
Great. What else?
Community.
Mm-hmm. What else do we do?
We take them through the habits of health.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lead them on to a team meeting like this, like a Zoom or a weekly huddle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe even if we wanted to break it down farther, I mean, we start with just helping facilitate placing that first order for them and getting them connected to our Facebook page. So anything else you can think of?
That first week, connecting them, celebrating their first week.
Yeah.
Answering their questions. There's always tons of questions.
Oh, great. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Couple more.
I'm going to digress a little bit into the health assessment because we awaken them. We awaken their potential by asking them questions about what do you really want to see happen and why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So absolutely. So, just taking that same concept of we look at what that future destination is for our clients. And sometimes I think we even have to believe and dream for them, because if it's a place they've never been or they haven't been in a very long time, sometimes we need to hold out that hope for them. And then we lead them through those steps, knowing what that future destination is. So I hope that helps you just kind of see how this concept is really tied exactly to what we do all the time as we work with our clients. So I'm going to throw it back, I think, to Craig.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just thinking about, as you guys are thinking about that, we use a tool if you think about it, lead from the future, act today, act in the now. Does anybody think of a tool that we use that sets up that where you want to go and where you are now and the steps to get there? Anybody want to toss?
Your GPS.
A map.
I was going to say map.
Structural tension.
Yep. Map is all those answers are correct, actually. But basic, the dynamics that we're talking about is a structural tension chart. And then within a structural tension chart, the map is a structural tension. Where are you and where you want to be and where are you now? And you really, one thing that Dan Valentine said to me at convention, or no, actually, I've heard this, many people say it, but one of the things that was said recently was, if you don't have a goal, any plan will do. Think about that. Like, if you don't know where you're going, then any plan, any road will do. And so, go ahead, Daniela.
Well, I was just thinking, even on the most basic and earliest level, our health assessment with and for our clients, to help them create that initial structural tension that assists them to move toward those goals.
Yeah, it's where they want, where they're at now and where they want to be. And that's exactly it. So when you're thinking about your goals, sometimes it's scary to think about the future when there's some unknowns. Anybody have that? Like, well, I want to grow to be this rank, or I want to grow to help this many people, or I want to achieve this, this qualification. And you're kind of afraid to say that because you're not sure how to get there. Well, you first have to decide where you want to go before you pick a path to get there. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever got in your car and just decided to drive? I'm going somewhere. Well, if you don't have a destination, how will you know when you're there? Or will any place actually do? Dan Valentine said, if you're going to drive to the beach, you've made a decision. I'm going here. Then you get out your map and you pick a route to get there. And so it might behoove you guys to go into the future and actually think about how you want your life to look like in a year from now. What do you want life to look like in a year? And be as detailed as you can. Maybe you can be, maybe you can't be super detailed, but have an idea of where you'd like to be. And then you talk about it as if those things are true and get really connected. Someone said, dream with incredible detail, as much detail as possible. And then you can't pull that back to today and say, what's necessary? What do I have to do this month to make that happen in 11 months from now or 12 months from now? And you just start to work it. You work your year into quarters into months, months into weeks. And you just slowly start doing a little bit of work. And you can also work with your mentor, and they can help you figure out, I think you're going to need to go left here. I think you're going to need to talk to 5 people instead of 2 people, right? And you figure that out, but you have to get it out there of where you want, have that goal, and then then you'll have a specific plan to go get it because you know where you're going. Any comments, or did that shake anything loose in your thought processes? Love to hear from Kim or Linda or Diane. Carrie. Yeah, hi Linda.
Hi. It's awesome that we're talking about this. This is perfect timing for me because I'm in that phase of I am officially a stay-at-home mom. I was just a stay-at-home aunt for a couple of years as a full-time health coach, but now I have that tension of how do I work the business but be a full-time present mom? Because when you're running a business, it's the propensity to always think about it or not create time segments and be disciplined and learn how to manage yourself can be challenging. But tonight's event, the Dave Ramsey, it's like his Smart Money Tour. I've got the book. He pretty much talked through what we health coaches do with clients, but it was in the context of finances, not weight. So I was realizing like this, I talk to people about this stuff all the time. And I think it was Ziegler, Craig, where you quoted Dan Valentine. He said, if you don't have a goal, then you'll hit, what does he say? If you don't have an aim, you'll hit your goal every time or something like that. Am I messing that up?
Well, yeah, if you don't have a goal, any plan will do.
Yeah, basically any plan will do. But it's cool because he was talking about backwards math. We're talking about backwards math, and it's those baby steps that Alex and you, Craig, are really alluding to. It's the baby steps. Don't look at the whole picture because you'll get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. I look at Daniela, and I'm so excited that she hit FIBCD, and I'll think, when will I get there? Because Craig knows that we've been working on that forever. But the personal development will never you won't outgrow your business before your personal development. I've said that wrong. I'm not running too high on brain cells right now, but Reagan's been sick, but you guys get it. So it's perfect. I just came home from listening to this. Now we're talking about this in the business. It's the boost that I need. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. Great. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, so we're going to be, as we connect each week or each month, when we get back together, we're going to be kind of unpacking these, the hot 6. In today's, we were talking about leading from the future, acting in the now. And I think it may take some courage to get those goals out there and write them down. Terry Miller this morning said she writes down her goals on a whiteboard. If you don't have a whiteboard, go buy one, hang it up, and write down your goals on there and stare at them. Look at them a lot. Pay attention to them. Check them off as you're getting closer, as you're doing those things. Be intimately connected with your dreams and your goals. After all, they're yours. And so we're talking about leading from the future, acting now. Next week or next month, we're going to talk about taking responsibility, playing up the line, just kind of unpacking these over time as we go through this. So I'm excited. By the way, each month I hope that we see new faces here. On the webinar earlier tonight, Dan Valentine said, man, I've got so many people knocking on the door applying to be health coach, wanting to join us, that it's remarkable. And Sam Prestamuck said when she owned a gym, people came in and they would give her resumes all the time because they were looking for what they were offering. I wonder if we thought about what we did in this business, that people were just knocking down our door wanting to give us resumes because they want to be part of what we're doing. We have something incredible here. Incredible. And you guys are right in it. So I'm looking forward to you inviting more people and us seeing new faces every month as we get back together and really growing this. Because as we grow, we can help others grow.
So Craig, I want to speak to filling in the gap as we close up, and obviously give space for anybody who has questions. And when I say fill in the gap, here's what I mean. When we talk about having people knock down your door, wanting to give you a resume, if that seems far-fetched to you, it just means that we need to have some personal growth and development, because clearly there are coaches who have that happening. And without getting into specific details, I think this month is going to be a huge month for new coaches coming in on board, because the new year's coming up and people are looking at making career shifts or needing another extra bit of income, especially with paying off these holiday bills they're about ready to incur, right? This is the time to start getting yourself out there. And so I'm going to go back to a statement that Craig taught me, and his life embodies it. And it's called, how can I? How can I get to a point where people are knocking on my door? Ask your mentor coach to help plug you into what those gap, when I say fill in the gap, what would be the parts of the structural tension? And just so that word's not a mystery to you, okay? If you're going to hit a target, imagine a bow and arrow, right? And you're trying to get on that particular target that's sitting over there. You got to point in the direction of it and know that's where you're going, right? That's what you want to achieve. And then you got to take aim and get your focus on it. That's like writing your stuff down. And if that scares you because you've been disappointed in the past when you've written things down, well, I'll tell you what, you got to write down something that you're willing to do the personal growth work for. You might have an old dream board that is no longer what really matters, but because you told yourself in the past all those years. For me, I used to put yachts on dream boards, and then I never would stay fired up to go get it. As soon as I switched that dream board to me playing in the water with my kids and me having time to travel and camp with them, all of a sudden my fire and my passion started igniting, because I actually found something that was more motivated than a yacht, So you got to find your thing that really fires you up. Well, that's your mentor coach to help you awaken that. So get that. Now that you've taken aim on something that truly intrinsically fires you up, then guess what? It ain't just going to happen. You got to put tension on that structure. Does that make sense? You got to grab that line of that particular thing, and you got to put tension on that. And that's going to take a little effort to stretch yourself. And that's why they call it stretch goals, right? Because this isn't a goal that you already have exactly all the ways of thinking. This is not a goal you have all the skills currently yet. Does that make sense when you hear that? So don't think this is going to be something like you're just going to cakewalk through that. No, this is a stretch goal. And then we're going to help you release and let it go and just let it fly. And you got to be willing to let that fly, and you got to be willing to let that arrow hit wherever it's going to hit. Does that make sense? That means take the action, even if you're not perfect. Now, here's my question to you. Once you let that arrow go the first time you've ever taken aim at a goal, somebody please help me and give me the answer. Do you think, what are the odds that it's going to hit right in the bullseye the first time? Come off mute, say it.
Slim to none.
All right, Irv, the first 7 times, did it hit the bullseye?
That's a negative.
And you, guess what? But you weren't afraid to take the actions, right?
Right.
So if you aren't like Irv, because he's had personal growth in the past, clearly that's allowed him to play the numbers and to keep taking action, then you probably need your fill in the gap for you is help me, coach, not to be so afraid to miss the target, right? Help me get past whatever mental block I have, and maybe that's where your next structural tension comes. What personal growth do I need there? And then when you see, now someone else besides Irv, when you see wherever that arrow hits, guess what? You'll know what to do what next. Someone else come off, and we'll end on that. Once you see
I
where that
know
arrow hits, what?
I know that I need to evaluate where it hit and where I wanted it to hit, and then make the next step to be able to try again. And even if that means personal growth or professional growth, it's going to mean some sort of growth to be able to make up that difference.
That's it. That is it. I just wanted to say you're on a team. We're on a team. We've got the goods. Somewhere in this organization, somewhere in ourselves, we can make those adjustments to where it does become like you just can't wait to take the next shot. You got to raise your hand and say, that's where I want to go.
Awesome, guys. Well, we're going to finish up for tonight. Thank you guys for your attention. We'll see you back here in about a month, and we'll look forward to celebrating again with you in December. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Hey, Craig, one more thing, because this is locals. For those of you who are local to the Northwest, Saturday, there is an event in Wilsonville. I'm going to be going. I'm bringing some guests with me as well. Anybody wants to carpool, I have I have 2 seats left in my car. And so I'd be happy to take 2 more with me. And I'm going to be leaving around like 7:30 in the morning because I think it's about an hour drive to get there. And remember to plan out. I like how Dawn, if you not have a local event, create your own and have people over for like a healthy happy hour. Get something going for the holidays. Cool.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you again. Take care, everybody. Good night.